It's time for our regular round of what's the geeky thing that's been consuming our lives since the last issue. So we all pick a game, a TV series, a movie, a comic, just something in general geeky that we've seen or done, and we then talk about it. So this issue, let's kick off with Leigh. Leigh, what are you giving to us this time with your one geek thing?
So, in a shocking twist, I'm
Pokopia?
not picking a game.
Not Pokopia?
No, I've not played Pokopia.
Is that because you know you would lose all time and reality?
Probably, yes. No, what I'm actually going to talk about is an album. Because the new Gorillaz album, The Mountain, came out recently, 27th of February 2026 was the release of that, and I really like it. I really enjoy it. It's very rare that I'll actually sit down and listen to an album properly, but like loads of people were talking about it and everything, so I was like, all right, I'm going to listen to this properly. Mm-hmm. And it's just such a really good album.
So it's been a long time since Gorillaz released new material, hasn't it?
Not really.
No, I think when was
pretty
last,
consistent.
Yeah,
they release quite consistently, but obviously they're always quite experimental. So their albums are either hit or miss, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think this one they've it feels like an actual like cohesive piece from start to finish.
It's probably a concept album.
Yeah.
Really.
Didn't they do a film with it as well?
Yeah, so I'll get onto that in a bit. But yeah, it's like sort of, from what they're saying, it's like, I think both Damon Albarn and Jamie Hewlett are obviously the two people behind Gorillaz. They both sort of lost, I think it was their fathers, they both lost their... They also did a trip to India, so they were sort of going around like a lot of very holy sites, and sort of off the back of that, they built an album that was very much about sort of death and rebirth and that sort of thing. That was kind of the focus of this, and obviously there's a lot of Indian influence has gone into the album, but it's interesting because even though it is predominantly focused on death, it doesn't feel like a really sad, depressing album. It's sort of kind of almost like a celebration of life and sort of imagining, you know, the afterlife and all this sort of stuff, and it's just such a really interesting thing from start to finish. Just almost every track on it is just really good. I think there's only one that I really didn't like, and that was can't remember which track it was. The Manifesto was the only one I didn't really get into. But also off the back of that, they also there's a lot of guest spots from people who had already passed away on this album, so they reused a lot of stuff from previous sessions. So it's previous collaborators with Gorillaz who've died since, and it's people like Dennis Hopper, Bobby Womack, David Jolicoeur, Tony Allen, Proof, and Marquis Smith. So it's all like various different bits and pieces that were sort of left over from previous sessions that they'd done. Because I thought it was odd, because I think the only one I'd realised had died was Dennis Hopper. And so when I saw him on the first thing, I was like, how the hell is he on this? And then I heard his voice, and it was just him saying The Mountain. And I knew, I was like, the fire coming out of the monkey.
It calls back to the previous
But yeah, like you said, there was a film released for it, a short sort of music video, which sort of brought together 3 other tracks from the album. And it's a really cool little short because it's all traditional animation. They were sort of very deliberately calling back to like sort of 50s, 60s Disney. So like the Jungle Book is very big in this. You can see it's like straight away, like Noodle is basically just Mowgli right at the start of the video. And it's just such a gorgeous little video. And it sort of shows that, yeah, we should have more sort of traditional hand-drawn stuff because it's just such a really great piece of work. And I read like an article about it talking, like the animators talking about their process and how basically they said that if you couldn't do it in the 60s, we weren't allowed to do it. That was the restriction we put on ourselves, that like if it had to be something that you could do at the time, which they sort of cheated a bit with it. So instead of just laying stuff like on cells like they'd used to, they would still do that digitally because it was just easier to do it that way. But they'd still like actually paint the backdrops and then scan them in rather than just doing it. Yeah. So, but yeah, I've been really enjoying that album and that music video as well. So
I particularly like the 2 tracks with Sparks and the Marquis Smith ones.
Yeah.
For me, those depending on when this episode airs, I'll be either at it or have been when they played the NEC.
yeah, I looked at that and I was like, the tickets are way too expensive.
Yeah, it was but I mean, I've been a huge fan of Gorillaz since the beginning.
Yep.
Obviously because of the Tank Girl, Jamie Hewlett connection.
Well, I was a big fan of Blur, so
Yeah,
that was the thing.
Both sides.
And, and I've always liked sort of traditional animation stuff, so the idea of a cartoon band was always fun.
My only concern at the moment is Damon Albarn seems to have forgotten that it's supposed to be a virtual band, and I don't want to see Damon Albarn. It's like, I want to see 2D Noodles, Murdoch, Russell. Oh, that's the band I want to go and see. I don't want to see Damon Albarn. I don't care about you, mate. You had your moment in the sun.
with Blur,
Yeah, but they were on Saturday Night Live recently, and again, it was like, Damon, I don't want to see you, mate. I want the ABBA Voyage with the Gorillaz.
But I think that was part of the problem, though, is that it was getting expensive to have all the hologram stuff going on.
Damn the expense. Albarn's got tons of money.
Yeah, if you think that it's like
fine.
the tickets are already expensive, like imagine double the price. That's probably what we'd be looking at.
I was going to say they've started self-publishing the albums now. I think they're still a label, but they've started to move
They
to their own.
swindled me. I had to buy the CD version to get the commemorative ticket for the show. It's like, and God knows how much money I'm going to spend at the gig. Because if they put vinyl toys out, it's like, man, I'm going to have another set of vinyl toys.
Yeah, because this album was released through Kong Records, which is the album they've set up, the label they've set up specifically for this.
Because the website had gone off recently, and they brought it back, and it's like, because I used to love all of that. They do a book and another video, because I've got all kind of like.
Oh, did they do more of their sort of website shenanigans?
Yeah.
Because I remember that from back in like the original album.
It's good
days.
stuff.
Sometimes it's just nice to have a bit of mixed media as a project, But so I'll definitely have to have a listen to it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Cool. Matt, how about yourself?
So I've joined the metaverse. Over Christmas, me and my partner went halves on a MetaQuest 3, and so I've been playing.
One eye each.
And so
Trying to squeeze into the headset.
Yeah, and I've been playing that, and I've got to say I'm really impressed by it. I've been I know recent controversy aside with it, but I've been playing like Resident Evil 4, like the original Resident Evil 4 in full VR, and just the first time stepping into that, and then looking down, you've got your guns and you've got your knife and everything on you, and you have to actually.
Does it have Leon's briefcase carrying?
But you have to reload and everything in real time, and it's kind of.
Do you have to do like the drop kicks yourself as Leon?
Well, annoyingly, no.
Press X to drop kick.
Or you can't even hurl yourself out the window. It's like a cutscene plays every time you do it. But it's it's just been really fun, and even the quite surprisingly, outside of the games, there's a load of experiences. For example, you can sort of travel the world and you can visit, key sites, or even like Seven Wonders, or even just like sit on a beach in Thailand in VR. And it's some of those experiences that actually my partner's really enjoyed a lot more, because he's less of a gamer. I've just been essentially going through. The headset came with like a 3-month subscription to their almost like Game Pass, MetaQuest Game Pass. So we've just been going through, playing those different games, different experiences, and just really enjoying it, to be honest. So, well done, Zuckerberg, on that, I'd probably say.
So was it worth handing over all your data?
It's fine.
Wear your glasses?
No. So I did originally, but because mine, I have a very poor eyesight. My subscription's a bit too thick for it. So I wore my daily contacts, but then I bought some inserts, and the inserts are quite good because you can just pop them in and out whenever you want to. But yeah.
Because that's been, for me, the barrier with kind of VR, because I don't do contacts.
Yeah.
And I find it very difficult to, the headsets don't often fit, because I have quite a wide brim glasses, and I find it sometimes that the headsets don't work very well.
So I did have that challenge. I think the inserts, they're about £50, which obviously isn't
Is that the one they call the comfort insert?
Yeah. Yeah, but they match your subscription. You stick them in, and you can take them in and out quite easily. And actually, that's been a bit of a game changer, because I was using my daily disposable contact lenses, but then your eyes obviously dry out really quickly having two screens in front of your face. So the inserts work really well.
And has anybody filmed you playing Beat Saber yet?
Yeah, Neil repeatedly.
But yeah, like, I mean, it's probably still not going to solve the issue I have with VR, is that it just makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm one of those people that just can't do it.
interesting.
Physically.
They've done quite a lot to kind of help with motion sickness, but I agree. I think after a while, I get sick still.
It's not even necessarily motion sickness. It's weirdly disorienting for me. Like, I'll have it on my head, but I won't be unaware of the world around me, and that makes me uncomfortable. So it's like, I just can't do VR.
Yeah,
I need to have, like, I can't do the headset.
Yeah.
So,
but I think it's interesting because also like the social aspect. I don't really get involved in the social aspect much, but they've even got like free live concerts and stuff, so you can go and sit in VR and watch a concert. And obviously it's just a big film on the screen, but you can sit with other people and watch, I don't know, Coldplay live. And they've got,
I mean, I wouldn't do that.
well, yeah. They've got like loads of events and stuff, and they've got these things called worlds where people can create worlds and you can hang out. So there's like virtual quiz nights and cobbly nights and stuff. So it's just interesting, I suppose.
Do you have legs now?
You do have legs. You do actually have legs.
Although one advantage of watching Coldplay live that way is that you won't get caught cheating.
Just two little metaverse characters canoodling in the corner. Because I remember when it first launched and Zuck did one of his videos and it was trying to get people in offices to like wear them to meetings and things like that. And it's like, oh, but you can do all you sort of... And it's like, no, there's a person sat opposite me and just speak to them.
Yeah.
I appreciate remote work and things like that, but yes, it looks a great concept. Again, I'm similar to Keith. My glasses are a prescription, which is known as re-entry shield for a space shuttle. So never really got on with VR headsets because I can imagine glasses plus then two lenses pancaked onto your face is going to be quite uncomfortable, but possible. But yeah, sounds interesting. So did you say the gaming experience is what brought you to it more than the kind of social aspect side of it?
Yeah, 100%. But also, I think in some respects, because things like Beat Saber and there's loads of other sort of games like that, it kind of harks back to the Wii era, where actually I'm being more active and that kind of thing. So I'm almost gamifying my exercise, and you know.
I think it's just the headset part of it that's the drawback. I think if it was a way of doing it without that, because I kind of like the controls, they're quite nice to use and
I'm
stuff.
hoping one day that they can get to the size of just a pair of glasses that you can pop on. And then, one day, maybe. Cool. Keith, how about yourself? What was your one geek thing of the...
My one geek thing is something I only finished yesterday, which
Not
probably
small
most
profits,
of the other world have probably already finished it months ago when it first came out. But I have been absolutely smitten with a little show on Disney Plus called Wonder Man.
Yes.
Which is part of the Marvel Studios range, being put out through their kind of Spotlight branch, which I think they did Werewolf by Night under, and Echo is also under that. So it's kind of like these slightly not quite part of the mainstream kind of thing. And I didn't know what to expect. I'd heard some good things about it, but I would probably want to say that it's possibly the best thing Marvel have ever done in film or in TV.
Oh, really?
It was a spectacular show that really isn't about superheroes. It's about Hollywood, and it's about acting, and it's about companionship and friendship, and the two leads.
Finding yourself, I think, is quite a strong
and
thing.
kind of like, not overthinking shit.
Yeah.
Which Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is the lead character, Simon Williams, who is wildly different to the character in the comics, but they have an in-universe explanation for all of this, where Wonder Man was originally a film that everybody used to love from the kind of like the early 80s. But the standout part of that is his partnership then with the incomparable Ben Kingsley, who replays or rejoins the Marvel Universe as Trevor Slattery. People will know as the Mandarin, which plays off in this series as well. He's reappeared in various other things. He'd been shuffled off into a pocket universe during Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which all back connects to the Mandarin and whatever it is. But just these two people together acting, and Ben Kingsley is just phenomenal. You know, it should be really cheesy, and you should think this is just terrible, but it's beautiful and it's brilliant. And Ben Kingsley is fantastic as Trevor Slattery, who could be the MVP of the Marvel Universe.
He's the new Thanos, maybe.
Who cares about Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr.? Ben Kingsley and Trevor Slattery is where it's at, man. He's so cool. And all the other bit part players in the whole series are just fantastic.
There's a fantastic supporting cast. I love the side episode with
Doorman,
yeah.
and Josh Gad.
Yep.
Yeah, which is brilliant in itself, black and white.
Yeah. Joe Pantoliano.
Joe Pantoliano. Yeah.
Joey Pants.
Yeah.
Yep, Joey
Which
Pants.
kind of like is brilliant because the episodes recall on each other, and the ending's fantastic because you just go, this is just brilliant, and I just thought it was phenomenal.
I really love they've left it open to do something else with it if they want to. But as a series, it's a limited run. I think it's 6 episodes.
8 episodes. 8 episodes. Less than like about an hour, half an hour long. Yes. But it's such a joyful show, and it's like.
I love it that amazing. They grasp around the reality of what is superpowered individuals just trying to live a normal life as well. I think that's a really good theme of just because you're different doesn't mean that.
Yeah,
you can't do things.
Well, it has a lot to say about a lot of things, and it's we've talked about previously in this episode when I was talking about Paul Dini and Batman and stuff. It's kind of how these stories, and I think it's as a creative person, anyway, the idea of any of these things that we talk about every week, music, TV, games, or whatever it is, that kind of human sensibility of having stories and being part of things, engaging and stuff, and kind of figuring our way around life and through life by all of these things that, you know, some people will trivialize and go, it's not important. But I think it's hugely important that we're surrounded by these kind of stories and these kind of things that just kind of we can connect to, and to the stories and to each other as well, that we're all connected in a way. And I think there's a lot of that in this series. It's all about connections and finding people who help you through things. And even though you might at first think we're wildly different, there's actually a lot of commonality. And in the world we're living in at the moment, the idea of the fact we've got more things in common than we've got not is a hugely big part of it. But I loved it. And every moment Ben Kingsley's on the screen, I'm just like, damn, this should be terrible, but I love Trevor. Trevor is fantastic.
Trevor Slattery because he's such a dreadful ham, and you've got Ben Kingsley, one of the finest actors of multiple generations, just playing an utter ham. Is just hilarious to a certain extent.
But it's done so well, and there is a couple of shocking moments in there that you just go, whoa, they did that. There's a part where they're auditioning for the role of Wonder Man.
The dream
Barnaby.
sequence of it,
and you just go, what the? And it was just magnificent. And the fact that like we'd got people in this who had been in the DC universe before. The director Van Kovac, and Kovac is the name that if you know comics has lots of implications about it. He was in Superman as the leader of the I can't remember the name of the country.
Yeah, and, the naughty country.
And Yahya had been Black Manta in the 2 Aquaman things, but he didn't really have the room to do what he does in this show. He's just a phenomenal actor in this, and that pairing is just chef's kiss Marvel. I think it is probably the best thing I've ever seen from the Marvel universe.
It's the last. Well, we kind of dropped most of the Marvel TV series just because they got to the state of there was just far too much Marvel.
Yeah,
but it's one of those things that did draw me and Viv back into watching it, and it was a great little run to watch.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think if they tried to do more stuff like that and keep to that shorter, limited run and just work on it and make sure it's fantastic writing.
It was a show that worked kind of at the same time I'm watching things like Shrinking and Small Profits and stuff like that. Yeah. It was a show that kind of really fitted in with that. It was a feel show. It was all about feels. Yeah. And it worked brilliantly. So if you haven't watched it yet, I highly recommend you tune into Wonder Man on Disney Plus. It's magnificent.
Awesome, thank you. I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to pick two things.
No, it's one geek thing.
The clue's in the name.
Keith does this every single episode.
No, don't, I'm
so
not a good example.
Well, my main one geek thing was going to be Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown, which you've not played it. It's a management sim game where you are tasked with becoming Catherine Janeway and getting Voyager from Delta Quadrant all the way home and coming across all the trials and tribulations and all the fun that she has to deal with, and you have to make the decision, you have to rebuild the ship, you've got to manage the crew, you've got to manage the warp core, you've got to make sure there's enough fuel and food and things like that. And it is a fantastic, stupidly hard, but fantastic fun game to play.
Do you get to leave Neelix behind at the first level?
Well, you get to make the Tuvix decision.
Wow.
Which is one of the great moral quandaries of our generation of, yes, do you keep Tuvix or do you split them back?
Wow.
Yes, so there's lots of decisions like that basically. So you can play it straight, you can play it as the series ran it, but you will come across at lots of occasions. So it's really worth picking up. It's one of those games that's designed for infinite replay and there's infinite choice, and you can, oh, what if I did it this way this time?
I think you do have to replay it quite often, because I think I played the demo and I was like, yeah, my ship's going to get blown up before I get to the end of this.
Yeah. did you use the array to go back home? Because that is one of the endings of the game. You can just go, it's on the Delta Quadrant, I'm out of here.
No.
Just go.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those games where you go, yeah, everybody's dead, start again.
Yes, but it's reasonably cheap. I think it's like 30 quid to pick up. So it's a reasonably good budget price game to spend some time on. So I would recommend that. But my main thing, which really annoyed me because it came out like a week after I recorded the last episode, was Neon Genesis Evangelion announcement of a new series coming from the writer and director of Nier, which is Yoko Taro. I'm sure Leigh will probably fill people on more on Nier. And
Yeah,
Nier
Yoko Taro, who we've never seen his actual face because he's always wearing the Emil mask at all times. Emil being a character from the original Nier.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's considering that the way that Nier and Drakengard, which is important to mention because it is all linked in, I'm very interested to see what he does with Neon Genesis Evangelion, because that's already like a series that goes in weird places.
Well, it's the 30th anniversary of the original version, which is Hideki Anno. So if you've not heard of Hideki Anno, he worked quite closely with Miyazaki. Early on, he did one of the big scenes for Nausicaa Valley of the Wind, and that's where he kind of got his reputation. Then went off and helped set up Gainax, and now he's set up Studio Kara, and there was a whole thing about Gainax collapsing last year. But yeah, so Hideki Anno's got the Evangelion franchise back. So this is the third iteration that we're going to have of Evangelion. We had the original Evangelion around 95, 96, well, 96, and then 2007 kicked off Rebuild of Evangelion, where we had 1.0, 1.11, 3.0 plus 3.0, and then 3.0 plus 1.1. They all got stupid names. Just
which is why I think Yoko Taro is a good fit, because let me just double check what the full title of Nier Replicant actually is, because they couldn't just call it like Nier Replicant Remastered or whatever. They had to call it Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139.
But also joining Yoko Taro at Studio Kara is Kazuya Tsurumakī, who did the Rebuild. He was the helm guy for that, and Toko Yatabe, who was the key animator. One of the greatest things that came out of this...
Also, off that, the music is going to be done by Keiichi Okabe, who also did the music for the Nier games.
Yeah.
And is a very good composer. Yeah. I would recommend people listen to Weight of the World from Nier Automata, and then go and listen to Yodeling in Meadow Hill from Tekken 6. Both the same composer.
Rather clash of styles.
Yes.
But my favourite thing about this whole three-day event they did for the 30th anniversary was there was a very short 15-minute Asuka Langley short movie where they took the original version of Asuka Soyuru Langley and then put in the rebuild version, which is just Asuka Langley Shinkai or something like that. Something slightly different. But yes, but they had a 15-minute short of those two talking together and like resolving Asuka's character, because she's not had fun in both iterations of the series. She gets a bit of a bum deal, but yeah. So, and my favourite thing about that was it was just supposed to be for the event. People recorded the event, and then they got copyright strike, and attached to the copyright strike was a link to a Google Drive with the full HD full release of the shorts, which then people just went, oh, this is pretty good, and that Google Drive link just went around the world within minutes. And now they've actually released it on the Studio Kara YouTube channel. So it's in fully Japanese, but there is auto translate on there, so you can watch it. My favourite bit of the auto translate the YouTube pulled up for me was it renamed Evangelion to New Age Gospel Warrior, which is a great name for
I know that sounds like some anime from the 80s.
I think I watched that on VHS.
I mean, to be fair, in Japanese it is New Century Evangelion, but New Age Gospel Warrior is amazing as a title. But yeah, if you've not seen Neon Genesis Evangelion, don't watch it as your first anime. I would probably caution against it. But you are in for a ride, and it's a great series, and it starts off as a slice of life robot and kid adventure, and then just descends into utter madness and PTSD by the end of it. But it's definitely worth watching.
Yeah, you say don't watch it as your first anime, but that is the first anime series I did watch.
That explains a few things. Yeah. But yes, and don't watch the final 2 episodes. Go and watch up to episode 24, then watch the end of Evangelion, and then watch the final 2 episodes of the series, and then go and watch all the rebuilds. But I'm very much looking forward to more Evangelion through somebody else's eyes this time. So I love Hideki Anno's version. I loved the rebuilds, but having new Evangelion just makes me very happy.
Yeah, and like I said, Yoko Taro is going to be an interesting take on it, just because it's.
And it also means more stupid Evangelion merchandise.
But also, I hope that it means that we'll get the series will get up to a point and then end.
Yes,
and then we'll get it starts again in season 2, but then it goes in a completely different direction and has a different ending, and then it does that 5 times.
Yeah. I think some of the best...
And for some reason, the last season is just going to be a shoot 'em up somehow.
Yeah. But I just love the craziness that is Evangelion merchandise. There is a vacuum cleaner. There is a Evangelion branded toilet seat you can purchase. There is an Evangelion range of gardening tools that you can purchase. They basically slap that brand onto anything moving in Japan.
I'm also looking forward to the episode where they have to work in sync together, and that rhythm game then becomes somehow linked to a third Nier game.
There will definitely be some Nier Autonoma things in there, but yes, it does kind of remind me a little bit of that Dr. Manhattan meme. It's 1995. I'm watching a new series of Evangelion. It's 2007. I'm watching a new series of Evangelion. It's 2026. I'm watching a new series of Evangelion. So it's right for rebuild, and it's right for change, and it's a storyline that's probably one of the most influential animes of all time, and I'd probably put it up there with something like Akira and the Ghibli works of Ghibli. It's had that much of a far-reaching impact. But yes, just news that new Evangelion is going to
You're reaching third impact.
Yeah, and I would recommend going and watching the little Asuka Langley short if you've got any kind of interest in the series. It's on Kara's YouTube channel, and I'll link it below. That was our geeky things of the issue. To recap, Leigh?
The Gorillaz, The Mountain.
Matt?
MetaQuest 3.
Keith?
The rather wonderful Wonder Man.
And me, the announcement of new Neon Genesis Evangelion. Does that mean that it's Neon Genesis Evangelion?
1.2.7.4.
Don't give Yoko Taro ideas.
Version 1.2 underscore final underscore use this.
Isn't it Evangelion Pi? It's like an infinite number of numbers afterwards.
But yes, check it out. The Geeky Brummie podcast is presented by Ryan Parrish, featuring Keith Bloomfield, Leigh Price, and Matt Lovell. It's produced by Vivian Parrish and recorded at Millennium Point in Birmingham. You can find more information about Geeky Brummie at our socials at Geeky Brummie and on our website at geekybrummie.com. This has been a Geeky Brummie production. Ta-ra, Rabbit.